Welcome to the Barbell Strikes Back. I'm James McDermott, joined yet again by co-host Miguel Porter and special guest today, Shaaf, member of the Albany CrossFit Barbell Club, who just competed yesterday at the Central New York Weightlifting Regional Open. And we're going to talk all about that today. Miguel, how you doing?
I'm good. Have some rain this morning, but weather's looking good now.
Yeah, it started off as a gloomy day, and I was using that as an excuse to not do anything because I was tired from the meet. And I'm like, all right, great, rainy day. I don't have to. I'm not going to go out by the pool. I'm not going to do anything. Not going to take out the recycling. And now, of course, it's gorgeous out. So, just before this, I was cleaning the apartment and getting ready to take out my recycling.
Hmm.
Shaaf, how you doing? How you feeling after meet day yesterday?
Pretty good. A little tired, but all in all, not too bad.
Is that a baseball and a baseball glove for your life
Yeah,
picture?
for a fan. Yeah. So this used to be my old bedroom, but I turned it into my office. But yeah, my parents installed that when we first moved in, and I was playing baseball at the time, so it meant something
Okay.
back then. But then a year later, I stopped playing baseball, and yeah, now I hate it.
Hey, that's how it goes, right? You're a kid and you have an obsession, so your parents buy you hundreds of dollars worth of stuff, and then a year or 6 months later, you're like, "Yeah, and I'm done with that."
Yeah, pretty much. They wanted to give me like one of those bedroom for like where you can just find like a magazine or something, and I was like, this one, this baseball one, give me that one. And yeah, it came with
Did
like
you?
well, or are those like what are the round chairs called? Like the poncho chairs? Is that what they're called? You know
I
what I'm
don't
talking?
even know.
It's like it's kind of like a bowl or whatever, and you kind of just like sit into. Well, anyways, it was like a baseball, so it just kind of added on to that whole
Okay, so you had a
baseball
whole
theme.
baseball room.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, question for both of you. Should one, I feel like all those things from back then, like that used to be for kids, adults are like into it now. So you could do like, all right, we're gonna do like an adult weightlifters room where like you can get the Lasha bed sheet or whoever you want. Lasha's just an example, and you could get like Toma curtains and wallpaper and stuff like that, and like a little plate and barbell fan. Like, do you think people would go for that?
I think so.
You think so? There's a market for it. We
It
can
could
make
be.
millions of dollars.
I don't know about millions of dollars.
There's always a market. Yeah, not for me, but
I like how Miguel says not for him. Yet that's I just described his bedroom probably. Like you go in there and
Yeah.
it's like fully decked out barbell stuff.
Mm.
I could see that happening. I think people would buy like in our like whole age range. Let's just say 20 to 40. People are obsessed enough now with CrossFit and weightlifting and stuff that I think they'd go for that custom bedroom you just pick right out of a magazine.
No.
No? Okay. All right. Well, I have business ideas and that just sparked one. But and for masters, then you get like the special therapeutic beds, like this is gonna help with your joint pain, and you have like little kilo plates on your comforter, so like all over it.
I can see that being a thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think so. Yeah. But, all right. I'm saying it now and watch in like a year or so, you're gonna see it out there and people are selling it, and it's gonna be $599, I think, for like a bed set and everything else included. I think, and it's Rogue branded. I think people will go for it.
And it's just me. It's me. I made it.
Yeah, it's just you. I mean, we have the capability to make that happen for Albany Cross Barbell Club. I can get shower curtains, bed comforters, doormats, floor mats for your bathroom. Like you can outfit your whole bathroom with this.
Mhm.
Like we can make that happen. A skateboard, if you want a skateboard shop, I can print this on the skateboard. So
There we go. You get to
we
see me in the
should.
Olympics for skateboarding.
Hey, yeah, and they're like,
I
why is it
can't.
Albany CrossFit Barbell Club, but he's skateboarding? Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I can't compete with those 12-year-olds.
no,
Or yeah.
is that how old they are in the Olympics?
I think. Well, for the women's, like the youngest medalist, well, from the last cycle, she was like 12 or 13 or something. Like
Wow.
she's in the Olympics this year again. She's like 16 or something. Maybe.
Can you imagine
17.
that winning an Olympic medal at like that age, and you're already an Olympian?
Yeah, crazy. It's like what else do you do with your life at that point?
I don't know. I mean, if you're good enough, maybe you can retire by the time you're 16 and get those Nike endorsement deals and other companies. But imagine that on your resume. like for your first job, you're like applying to work at like the McDonald's or something because you need a job and you're a kid with no experience. But right at the top of it, it says Olympic medalist. You know,
Hmm.
like something that should carry like a lot of weight on your resume. But since it's your first job, you're like trying to work at Lowe's at a cashier position, and I feel like that's gonna maybe get it to you. It shows you're hardworking and dedicated, right?
Yeah.
And other qualities. So
Some of
you're
those
gonna be
jobs
the
won't take you though, because you're like a person of influence, I guess, and then they just won't hire you.
really.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So why? Because you might speak badly about the company.
Yeah, or just like I don't know, someone might just like it might bring like too many people to the store for the wrong reasons instead of buying whatever they have. You know what I mean? Like then
Hey, I
it'll
think
disrupt the whole business flow.
I can see that, but I think you try in the like for a month because those are sales. Like you got to try to make sales here.
Yeah, you think they would want to do that, but
Maybe
yeah,
maybe you're like an assistant manager. It's just like a, like not a real position, but like, hey, you're just gonna get the sales in. Like you might get to request to see the manager, you get an autograph, but you're gonna buy a lot of paint too.
mhm.
See, this is one of those companies should hire me. Is how I think. All right. Anyways, let's talk about let's talk about the meet. We're
Oh yeah,
on a. We got to get
I forgot
Miguel. We
about
got to
that.
get. We should get a crew to talk about the Olympics. When we do talk about all the Olympics, we should get like a crew together. Like I have a million like Olympic stories, but I feel like it'd be fun to get everybody's perspective on just like a big Olympics talk.
Well, we'll consolidate. We'll
We'll,
see.
we'll take applications. We'll take applications,
Yeah.
and maybe people have to raise their hand to speak, and then you'll acknowledge them and be like, "What do you have to say on this topic?"
Right.
Okay, all right, I can see that. Miguel will be the moderator on the Olympics talk discussion. But
That makes
let's talk
sense.
about the Central New York Regional Open. Miguel, or Shaaf, this was your second Central Regional Open, and you
Yeah,
are now a two-time regional champ. Congrats
yes, I am.
for the
Thank you,
Central
thank you,
Central New York Regional.
thank you, thank
And
you. I think I hit the
you,
same total twice for there.
are you serious?
It
No,
has to be close.
no. I was looking at it. It's definitely higher this time. I think it was like 224 last year or something like that. Like it was
Oh,
236 this year, and I don't think it was that last year.
got it.
But I don't. Yeah, I don't remember the actual total for last year. But so yeah, and you won the regional for the Adirondacks. Have you won the regional for Hudson Valley?
No, I don't think I've competed yet. So
Okay, all right. You're typically helping there. So all right. So you're a regional champion across multiple regional regions.
I'll take
So that's
I'll
pretty
take
cool.
over in a second. Next one, I'll go.
Next year, are you going to do all of them and try to win all of them?
Yeah, let's do it.
No one's tried to do that yet. Well, hold on. Before you commit to that, that's an expensive endeavor. You're going to do all these meets, you know, going all over the state. And then, I mean, if we put it out there, then people will try to beat you too. That might be actually be fun.
All right, let's
Get
put it
some
out there.
get some nemesis. You're
It'll be
changing
easy
your
for
weight
them to beat
classes.
me. So
Oh, yeah, not if we play the weight class game. All right, you're a 109 plus for this one. Like we're trying to get that medal.
okay.
So that means some regionals will be really fun, others not so fun when we're trying to get you down to 81. You know, you got to go from 109 to like try to get, let's say, the New York City regional, and then at ours maybe you go down to 96, but then at some other one you got to go down to 81 because we're just playing the weight class game.
Mhm.
But all right, overall, we had some good lifts. We went three out of six lifts made. We made two snatches, 101 kilo opener, missed 104 on the second attempt, but then came back and made it.
Mhm.
For the clean and jerks, we made one lift. We had a 132 opener that we made, and then we missed 136 and then 138, but had some fine deadlifts out there on that competition. And with a nice shrug. Those are pulls. They weren't deadlifts. Those are pulls.
The
We had
last one
more.
was really good.
Yeah, the last one. The last one, I was thinking about it. That's how I want you to do them in class when we're practicing pulls. Like, so if you could just do that, like that'd be great. You know,
All right, I'll start doing
that
it
was
like
like that was like a delayed cue, like way back months ago when we were doing heavy pulls. You're like, I just don't get it, and then it just clicked out there on the third attempt for the regional open. So I was happy about that. I gave you a shout out over the mic. It was a great pull.
Mhm.
Cool. So where should we start with this? Should we start from Miguel's coaching perspective or Shaaf's athlete perspective, or just go lift by lift? What do you think, Miguel?
Yeah, let's go. Let's give it a little bit of background, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah, Shaaf was gone all week.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. We're bringing up the tell all beef and stuff like that. Okay.
I
Let's do
mean,
it.
no, I think it's probably an interesting perspective that we can go down, actually, like what each individual needs, like prior to a meet. Because even if we go back to the 80K series, that meet preparation for me was the most out of the ordinary that I've ever had before a meet.
Mhm.
Like going to Great Escape the night before all day. But even just the week leading up, it one, like right now, what we're all doing are these like train through meets. So we're not really tapering or really getting things ready specifically for this competition. So it's a different look into the preparation of a competition, and how that affects each person.
Was Miguel, was the 80K series, was that your first train through meet? Was that like the first meet you're like done like yeah, we're just gonna lift regularly the day before and then just go out and do this?
I think the previous 80K series that we did was also kind of like a train through. I think we
Mhm.
still did probably more meet preparation
Yeah, like
leading up.
openers and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think this was
this
the
one for
first one where
sure
we didn't
was,
do like, hey, Miguel, you want to hit your openers on Wednesday and make sure it's like, it was just like a heavy day.
yeah, like we did one heavy day. And then I think on Friday you asked us if we wanted to hit openers and stuff again. And I think we all just did the EMOM.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. Shop, is this your first train through me, or have we've done them like mid cycle before? But
I
like Miguel's saying, we also always have still some built in prep to it instead of
think
holding true the main training cycle.
I think it's maybe my third.
Your third one, you've done this one a lot.
Yeah. Like we had like that we had that 180K one. That was in like January last year, I think. I don't
Mhm.
think we did any prep for that. It's like the one
Okay.
where, right, Miguel, you did that one too. There wasn't any prep for that one.
Yeah, I can't fully remember. We might have done based on probably what each individual wanted,
Hmm.
like working up to numbers. Um,
Yeah, I remember
yeah, but I'm
Mike did
not
that
completely
one
sure.
and Tanzira did that one. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
that
was
one.
also at the end of January. So we had just started a training cycle coming off of not doing anything crazy throughout the rest of the winter and the fall there. And we were also a month out from the Arnold. So it was like kind of like right in between new training cycle and Arnold to try things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very possible we did some stuff. Hard to remember. But
And then the year before that, I had that meet over in Cross Schenectady, and that was a train through. It's the one that Miguel made that video for me.
okay, got it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, you've done it a couple times, and but now you guys are all like on the team, kind of like getting to the point where I feel you're not nervous to do it. Like before, you're like, oh no, we gotta at least try something here, Versus if there was a meet tomorrow, I feel like our team could suit up and like let's just go put some openers down and do the meet, right? Like psychologically, maybe we're to the point now where you've done enough meets where it's not a big deal. Like you could just go do it. It's just another day at the office, and that's a pretty cool thing. And now some of you guys are at the point where like, like you see like in the movies where like the star players out at the casinos the night before doing stuff like that, and then just kind of shows up and just starts hitting home runs. Like I feel like we're kind of at maybe in that phase. Like, do you know that what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like, right. I do. How do I say this? I wouldn't say it's our team philosophy, but I think most
Yeah.
athletes will agree that what's the least I can do and still improve and still perform well. And I think very much been testing the limits of that.
Yeah. But it's like, it. I mean, we all know that feeling on like where you show up to a meet and you don't feel prepared, and it's like you feel it like right in here. You're like, oh, I feel a little nervous. Like I haven't like I've had a really rough training cycle, or I've missed a lot of them because of work or vacations and stuff. And you know what I'm talking about? Like where you feel like a little nervous, like you're like, oh, I feel unprepared. But once
Mhm.
you do enough meets, you can kind of just also show up and be like, oh no, like this is a normal environment. I feel comfortable here too. So even if I am going to go with a lighter opener, and then when you start to get into it in the competition mode, you're like, oh, well, yeah, let's go up. Like I've done that before. There was a point in 20, I want to say 16 or 17, where I did a meet a month after having not done a meet for a while due to injury. And it was September, October, November, just 1, 2, 3, and very minimal training in between. Just kind of showed up and did them, and improved meet to meet, and improved my split snatch. And that was like, this is just normal. I'm comfortable at weightlifting meets. I
Right.
think you guys are comfortable now, because also you guys have done big meets with high pressure, like the Arnold and stuff like that. That's the biggest we've gone. So local meets are a little easier to kind of do that. Just hop in and see familiar faces.
Mhm.
Hmm. Well, Miguel, keep going. This is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. So I would say for me as well, from a coaching perspective, um, me coaching a meet doesn't happen too often. Um, so I kind of have to rack my brain around what I have to do and when to do the things again. Um, but overall, I think this is also from coaching so many CrossFit classes now. I didn't feel the need. I always have like my notebook and I write things down, but I didn't feel a need to continually look back at it or even mark it up like I usually do. Um, and it's been similar with prepping for CrossFit classes now as well, where I would write down every single step of what I was going to do for the entire hour. Um, and now I just do that kind of as an outline of how I want the class to go, but I don't need to continually reference it to feel secure in what I'm doing. It was kind of the same way coaching yesterday, where I wrote down all of Shaaf's warm ups, how many lifts he was out until he would probably be out on the competition floor, and kind of like I do like hash marks to see, like, okay, if we're going every 3 or every 4, this is how many drops we're going to need. Um, but yeah, didn't end up really going back into it because I think part of knowing how to coach at a competition is knowing that everything gets thrown off. And if you go strictly based off like a number that you write down, it's not really going to work out. Um,
You
so
have
yeah,
to be very fluid with it.
right. So it didn't feel as rigid, and I felt kind of comfortable just going off of what I was seeing going on out there and what I was hearing, and how long I've seen things take, because two lifts is very different when they're 2 1 minute clocks that are going by pretty quickly, as opposed to 2 2 minute clocks where someone's using the whole 2 minute clock. Um, so that gap in between, if we're going every 3, it doesn't feel like every 3, because some of those are, you know, 6 minutes, some of those are 3. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, sometimes the 2 minute clock turns into your 3 drops because you let the first guy go. There's drop one, and then drop two. The next guy misses it. Now you're on a 2 minute clock, so that guy is your third drop again.
right.
So you just wait for him if he's going to use his 2 minute clock. You just maybe wait for him just to have half his 2 minute clock or start going out there, and then you do yours. Instead of waiting for him to lift, because
Yeah.
like if he's going to use the entire 2 minute clock, now that's really slowing things down a little bit. Cool. Well, now, all right. So, did you guys talk before the competition? Because I'd asked you during the week. I'm like, are you guys going to drive up together or whatnot? And then you were like, I haven't talked to Shaaf in a while because Shaaf was in Augusta, Maine for Kate Corbett's half Ironman race. Which shout out to Kate, did an awesome performance at the Ironman. And then also, you guys use that as an opportunity to take a vacation, and you did get all your training in, right, Shaaf? All the
Yeah, I did. My bad. I didn't send you anything on it, but yeah, I did. Day one I had to do in in a YMCA, and then the other days I was able to do in a CrossFit Acadia, just because it was like 40 minutes out. So, and the YMCA was like maybe 15 minutes away from where I was staying. So it was kind of annoying. I was doing snatches with like those plastic plates that kind of are like it kind of looks like a hexagon.
Oh, ew.
So yeah, but it was kind of nice because like the bar wouldn't roll, so it just is set there. But then I had to place the bar onto the ground instead of letting it drop. So it was kind of annoying getting through day one.
Did that beat? That sounds like it would beat you up a little bit extra.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Hey, that's important information. The person helping you at a meet should know, and other things. So okay, all right. So did they even spin on the bar? Like how did that?
No, the snatches I used straps. Clean and jerks just happened as clean and jerks would. So
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that would really beat up the joints a little bit.
Mm.
So all right, so you're on vacation, you're getting the training, which is good. You got the training in, awesome. And then when you and Miguel spoke for the first time, I'm assuming Saturday morning when he saw you. After,
when we all saw each other, when I saw you too.
all right. So Miguel was reffing the first session. So during the 10-minute break between snatch and clean and jerk is when you guys saw each other for the first time.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. All right. And then the first time I spoke to you was, I think, when I texted you just to make sure you were there to weigh in.
Yeah. Well, you texted me the night before asking me if how am I feeling.
Oh, that too.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you want to count that in that.
We can count that. We can count that. Okay. So all right. Unique situation. Miguel, did you feel a need to reach out to Shaaf beforehand and be like, hey, how's everything doing? Are you even coming?
Well, I think that's the thing too, where part of it is we've been, I mean, not as long as some people, but it feels like we've been doing all of this for so long that in reality, if I wasn't even there to coach Shaaf, I think he would have done fine.
Yeah.
Because I also feel the same way, where maybe it wouldn't be like as clean, but if I was to show up at a meet and you weren't able to coach me, I think I'd be able to figure it out. I probably have to change some things around just so that it makes it easier for me to just go straight out than have to change a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so I wasn't.
At this point, you guys were not able to go to a meet and function. This is a huge failure. Like on my part, like any of you guys should be able to go to a meet and not feel extra stressed. Like, okay, my coach isn't here, and I have to do the thing of like trying to find, is anyone here able to take care of me?
Yeah.
Like to be self-sufficient. A self-sufficient athlete, you can, if you can't come to training, okay, you can come in off hours and get it done and report back. If I can't make it to a meet and no other teammates are available, you can go and like you are educated to read the cards and understand. And you're not going to be one of those people who like, why did you start warming up immediately after weighing in and have to warm up 5 times and be exhausted? Like you guys understand how this works. Like it would be a huge failure. So I'm glad that you're able to do that, because I'd be terrified if by now you
Yeah, it was really just like,
it's one of the goals, right? Like if you guys have athletes eventually, you have to teach them, right? Like it's like if you have a kid and they get to the point where they can't make food or drive or do things, like, what did you do? What did you teach them? It's a problem.
Yeah, it was really just physically showing up. As long as he was there, I was thinking like, it's fine. Only thing is in relation to openers. Like that's really all I needed to know, because after an opener, if you make it, you essentially go with the plan. If not, then from there you have a discussion and you adjust. But yeah, if you wanted to like change openers, then that's essentially what I'm there for. Again, we do this and we do our own special warm-ups on competition day. We all know like what works for us best. So yeah, it not too much discussion was needed, or like even watching so closely of the warm-ups, unless there was something specific we were looking at in that moment. It's not something where I need to be like holding his hand. So, and not that I would anyway. So yeah,
Miguel operates under the if he dies, he dies coaching philosophy.
essentially, I mean, yeah, it's
The
up to
Ivan
you.
Drago approach.
Yeah.
No, it is. It is. I mean, like when you're new, the responsibility is 100% on the coach. Like you need me for everything, right? It's like and you're nervous as your first meet, all these things. But at a certain point, you can start to like there doesn't need to be a leash or like this thing. It's like you should just be an athlete, you know. And then the coach is there to compliment you and make sure that like you're not getting screwed over by the rules or what's going on there or what are other people doing. Like in the beginning, let's say if you guys are like opening the session, right? Well, we're doing all of our warm-ups during the 10-minute break before the thing and getting ready beforehand, right? And the coach doesn't need to, or me, I don't have to worry about any other competitors, right? But now when you guys move to the back of the pack and you're more experienced and you're lifting the heaviest weights, or there's other people around you and we're trying to beat, now it's almost weird. It's like I need to be worried about you, but I also need to be worried about other people too, like other coaches and other athletes. Like, oh crap, they're definitely going to jump up. We don't have, we don't have as many attempts as I thought, or I got to come running back to you. No, we got to go now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like that scene where the guy goes to like scope out to see where the creature is, and then he comes running. Start the car, right? That's when like I told you. All right, we're 5 lifts out. You're 5 lifts out, or 8 lifts out, and you have 2 warm-ups left. And I come running back. We got to go now. We got to hurry. Like they're coming for us. That's how it feels. In that situation where all of a sudden everything in the competition changes. But that's also like where the coaching focus changes. Like being worried about the competition, and now the responsibility to do the stuff is more on you guys, right?
Yeah.
We're not yet to the point of where it's like just kind of like throwing out like be ready in 15 minutes and take these as you will kind of a deal. Although we could be soon. What do you think about, what do you guys think about that? Like instead of being like being like, all right, it's time to do this, time to do that, it's like, all right, you got 20 minutes, do them by feel. What do we think about that?
I personally would have to adjust.
There's pros and cons to it, right? There's pros and cons.
Because I feel like, and I think it's a me and Shaaf thing, where I think like we listen the best. Whereas like especially me, I don't even need you. Sometimes you'll ask me if like, oh, it seems like we're taking a big break in between these like warm-up attempts. Like, is that fine? And I'm like, I don't care at all. Like when you point at me to go, that's when I'll go. Otherwise, I will not move at all.
And at the 80K series, you were like, rest is fine. Like
I was like, yeah, I'm chilling out.
Overheating and chilling out.
So, yeah, I think I could. I just think because of the person that I am, I would front load. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you said we have 15 minutes, everything would be done. Like, I'd probably within the first 7 or 8 minutes hit 90% of what I need to do, and then like in the last couple minutes hit my last warm up.
And I feel like that's kind of fine because like, let's say when we're doing working sets, most of those weights are like close, those lighter warm-ups are close to like what you're either in your warm-up progression, a lot of them anyways, for like at a meet. And we typically run through those pretty quickly. And then when we get to our working weights for working sets and percentages and stuff, that's when things kind of slow down a little bit for most of you, most of you. So it's like, let's say, and so let's say we were going to do snatches for doubles at 70 kilos, and you're going to do 40, 50, 60. Well, typically you would hit those pretty quickly, and then it slows down for 70. or
Yeah.
65 kilos was a percentage for the day. Even though that's not in the warm up progression, it's like you would just go fast and then settle down for those. So
Yeah.
it's,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And, all right, so let's circle back though. You said that you and Shaaf listen the best, and I feel like some people would on a team would disagree maybe a
I
little
don't
bit.
think that's true.
You don't think so?
Because it's not even necessarily a bad thing always. I think it's just we don't really care or are not even paying attention
Uh-huh.
to what is going on.
Because
Like I
I
feel
was going to
like
say Haley and Jennifer listen very very well at the ADK series meet, and I feel like they listen, you know. So
well, maybe they're growing, you know.
they're growing.
But I feel like they also seem to be more involved. Like they have more autonomy within themselves to like also be aware. Like they
Yeah.
care to be aware of what's
Mhm.
going on. I have
Uh-huh.
no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
get
I
that.
don't even it like most meets I'm like, oh, I'm not touching the bar even to load up. Like I don't care to touch the bar. I can if nobody's there to load for me, I can. But if somebody's there, I'm not reaching for a single plate.
Yeah.
And then I'll just sit down, not even look at anyone, headphones in, and that's really it.
Well, and I think, like for some, they might, without doing the whole like, okay, now it's time to go. Now it's time to go. And if it was just like, hey, be ready in 15 minutes or whatnot, and then I'll check in. I feel like some would go too fast. They would start front loading and then be done and still have 10 minutes. So I do get that, versus some of you guys who are a little more laid back about it. Hey, we have Frank here. I don't know if he's able to speak, but we now have Frank
He has
popping
his
in.
mic off.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up,
Hey,
Frank?
Frank.
Hello.
So
Not
Frank
a whole lot.
was
I
the
had
meet
like
director.
5 minutes.
Hey, yeah, pop in. Frank was the meet
Yeah.
director, and he did an awesome job with yesterday's meet. Congrats, Frank.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So here, Frank, since you have limited time, let's get your perspective. How do you think yesterday went? Are you happy with that, with everything?
Yeah. I think yesterday went well. I appreciate you guys coming down to lift and coach and volunteer and help out. And I think we would have liked it to be a little bit of a bigger meet, but I think we had about 26, 27 lifters. I think it went well. Everybody got home at a reasonable hour. I think maybe we were 10 or 15 minutes behind pace, but so it didn't drag. I think everything moved well, and we did all right. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a nice, smooth meet. How do you think Shaaf did? And Miguel? Like, let's talk about team perspective here. Because you were
yeah,
watching some of the lifts and you were also coaching during it. So, did you see anything on both ends? Anything you want to comment on?
I didn't get to watch much of the warm up room because I had my hands full, but I got to see some of Shop's lifts. I thought that I think Shop would have liked to hit another clean and jerk, but I think he did a pretty badass job of going out there and taking that third attempt and trying to go under it after Clark in that second one. So, props to Shaw for uh, giving it a go. And that was a PR attempt or no?
It would have been a PR attempt for the last one, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's you know pretty pretty good stuff. And hitting that 104 snatch was 104, right?
Yeah, 104.
Yeah, and it looked better than the first one I thought. So I thought all in all, pretty good day.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to see too much of the coaching. I heard them talking a bit here and there, and so from what I did hear, I thought Miguel did well, but I can't get too deep into it. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it.
Cool. And are you you're pumped about your team? You had a lot of PRs on the SONA weightlifting team too. I know Stacy PR'd. I think Jeff PR'd, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of good days. My guys were pretty beat up. This was sort of a train through for us. We had a little bit of like a mini deload towards the end, but we were kind of where everybody's in full swing for states, so we're still going pretty hard after that. So everybody was a little beat up, but we tried out some new openers with some people. We had other people looking for certain totals that they were trying to get, and I think all in all, just about everybody that competed hit the goal that they were looking for, or made some type of improvement that was notable. So pretty good day for everybody.
Yeah. Stacy, best female lifter overall for senior
Yep.
category. And Zach, best
Nice.
male lifter overall, right?
Yep. And we had Jess get the best female master. So we got 3 out of the 4.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, just got it. Jim Storch took
Yep.
the best masters male. All the best lifters awards went to CNY athletes. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, we were well represented. We had a couple, quite a few first timers, which was great. There's a new barbell club out in Ithaca that I'm gonna forget the name of off the top of my head, but Nathan
Is
Jew
that
is the
Iron
head
Forge?
coach. Yes, Iron Forge. Yep. So they're based out of I think they train at CrossFit Palace. Um, and that's their home. And so they brought a half a dozen lifters down from Ithaca. We had a couple others that were either local guys that are unaffiliated, or we even had some people from like Cortland and a couple other places come down. So um, the central region was actually pretty well represented. It was good to see.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Seeing CrossFit Cortland have some people come out. That's my old stomping grounds, Cortland. So I didn't even know there was a CrossFit out there. So that's
Yeah,
pretty cool to see.
yeah, and the rumor has it that they might be starting an official sanctioned club soon. So it's nice. Like, this was the goal when we started this last year, and then when I got on the board, what was it, almost 2 years ago now, to
Yeah.
kind of grow the sport in our region and get more clubs. And it looks like we're getting some of that. So it's good.
Yeah, for a while it was just you, Empire, and I don't even know.
And Swagler for a bit, and yeah,
Yes, yep.
now it's we're getting a few more sprinkling in, and a lot more general interest in the sport. So I had a good talk with the co-owner of Palace, and she was there lifting with Nathan and the rest of the team, and she was saying they were looking at hosting a meet eventually here soon. So we might get some more meets thrown in the area, which is good. So
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to get them out. I think they're coming to States, right?
yes, yeah, a lot of interest in states. I think you saw a little spike in signups, maybe. So I'm hoping that had something to do with our competition. You know, so
I think it did. I think just looking at it in the morning before your meet, I could have sworn that we had 23 spots left, and then now we're down to 16 spots left. So
yeah,
we are
yeah,
almost sold out.
there was another coach who I think he was at the level 2 that I took up at your gym, and he he brought in a lifter from Waverly, and they were talking about him and another lifter or two from that western part of the region coming out for states as well. So
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, was that
yep.
MC Fit?
No, that's Matt. This guy is Eric. I can't remember his last name, but he coaches through. I think he does a lot with the school out in Waverly School District.
Oh, okay. He had the
So
USCW polo on or something. I think.
yeah, I believe so. And he had one of the youths or juniors, Caden, I think was his lifter. Um,
Vanderhoof. Yep.
yeah, and
It's
so
funny. I
they
remember
came out.
everybody's names because I was saying them multiple
Yeah,
times
saying
now.
them repeatedly. Yeah, so they came out, and I think they're planning on maybe coming to states. Caden was all jacked up after doing well, and I think he set a state record for his age group. So he's ready to go to states and see if he can increase that and maybe set a meet record. And you know,
Very cool. Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, they hopefully all those people get on to signing up, as quickly as possible because I think it's going to go by really, really, really quick now. So the closer we get down to 10, as soon as we get down to 10, everybody who's like, I'll wait, I've got time. That's when they'll all of a sudden think, oh, I should probably sign up now.
yeah. So I got to get out of here in a second, but I guess I'll ask you guys quick. What do you guys think? And was it a good time? And any changes for next year that you want to see?
Shaaf,
Yeah,
we'll start with you or Miguel.
I'll go first. No, I really liked it. I love a quick meet day as well. So like you said, I think it was maybe like 10 minutes past scheduled, which by meet standards means on more than on time. So that was great. Yeah, everything ran really smoothly. Um, Always like figuring out the technology and all that stuff at the beginning is always bumpy. So we were able to get that going pretty quickly as well. Um, I don't know how you guys keep your gym so cold. Next time I will bring a hoodie, but from an athlete perspective, that must have felt very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Miguel's ref seat was right under the vent or whatever. And
Oh yeah.
even though he looks very stoic, I after he told me, I kept looking over. I'm like, I know that on the inside.
Yeah,
it was
I'll tell you this much:
difficult.
we've had some really hot, like 90+ degree days, and if we don't run the air in there, it gets like sticky and just like the air is so thick and gross. And we wanted to try to curb that, and I think maybe Tracy went a little too far in the other direction by chilling it down. But I think the athletes that were moving probably appreciated it, like Miguel said.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the coaches and volunteers suffered a little bit. So maybe next year we can find a happy medium, or we might be looking at maybe moving it to a different time during the year again. So maybe it won't be so like muggy and gross out, and we won't have to run it so much.
I was concerned with the cold temperature and the white T-shirt on just
Yeah.
showing a little too revealing.
That was the only reason I picked the white T-shirt, James. Because I knew I was going to make it cold for you, and I wanted
Yeah.
I wanted to see what happened.
Every time I was walking around, I'm like, my nipples are out. I feel it. Like they're out.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with a different color combo next year. But that was something I wanted to do, was get the volunteers and stuff in different color T-shirts than the athletes. So
yeah, that actually felt really cool to be in a separate T-shirt.
Yeah, and the silver was pretty cool too. The silver on the white was pretty sick. Although you got us on a white T-shirt, and then as soon as I was grabbing my slices of pizza, I was like, "We're gambling right now. This is a gamble."
Yeah, the pizza was a last minute audible, but it was a good call by Tracy, I think, to go ahead and order that for you guys. So,
and I'll say this: it was great pizza. Binghamton has at least 5 places that have better pizza than any place in Albany. I was thinking about this on my drive over. I was almost mad about it. I'm like, Albany has such trash pizza. I don't understand. It should have better pizza. Binghamton
we've got a few good ones, and there's some new ones that just opened up. There's this place in Johnson City called Enzo's that I love it. It just opened up. It was this girl, her, and I think she has a business partner. Just opened it up near the hospital, and she just graduated the culinary school near here, I think, and opened this pizzeria, and they make a really good pie. So next time you're in town, we'll have to try that out.
Great dough, great sauce. I think I've had some New York City pizza too. Binghamton has better pizza than New York City. I'll say
you can't say these things.
I can't. I can't
on a public forum like this.
I'm saying it. Let's debate. Let's get all the pies. Let's do a tasting. That pizza was all right. I'll stop.
I haven't had as much pizza as like a Dave Portnoy, but I'll go out on a limb and say that I'll disagree with you there. But for upstate New York, it's not bad to have as much pizza as we have in our area. That's decent. Like we do have a good selection. So.
Oh my God, I want to recreate that Dave Portnoy thing. You know the rules: 2 bites and then eat the whole pizza.
Yeah.
Shaaf, any feedback for Frank before he has to go?
Yeah, it was a great meet, Frank. Everything ran really well. Do I have any I don't think I have any negatives for your meet. So yeah, good job. It's a great meet.
Man, thanks. Yeah, I've got a little list going of stuff that we made some changes from last year that I think were good. There's a couple other things that I want to get buttoned up for next year. Some of it due to just my personal time and what I could afford to put into this meet, and then other stuff that I would maybe change. But the biggest change we did was changing out the layout of the event, physically. I think that was a good change. We'll probably keep that going forward. But next year maybe we'll maybe change one or two things with the warm up area, and then there's a handful of things on the back end that I want to do different. But as far as like the metals and a few other things that I want to improve. But yeah, but I personally I think it went as good as it could have for what it was. So
Yeah, it's a great day. I've got some back end feedback stuff, but that's off air stuff. We won't
yeah,
get into that
yeah,
on
it's
the podcast.
probably pretty similar to the stuff that I have written down. So
Cool, awesome. Well, yeah, another great day in Binghamton for doing some weightlifting, and we'll be back out there before you know it. Like September 28th and 29th is going to come really fast.
yep, yeah, we're ready to go. I've got big list of equipment that we're bringing to States, and the team will be ready. So
Yep, and some pizza. We'll bring some pizza.
yep, for sure. So all right, guys, I'm gonna jump off. I appreciate you having me on. I will see you guys in September, and if you need anything in the meantime, you know how to get a hold of me. Anybody listening, John North and Donnie Schenkel are coming September 7th to our gym in Johnson City. So we're running low on entries. You can reach me at sonaweightlifting@gmail.com if you want to sign up. And that's that. I will catch you guys around.
Awesome. Later,
All
Frank.
right. See ya.
Yeah, Frank.
See you
Good
guys.
job.
Thanks.
All right. Well, that was fun. Look, that was our. All right. Look at this. Since we've started going live, Shaaf is the first third person to come on, and that was our first pop in. We've never had a pop in like that before, ever. That's pretty cool, right?
That was
Look
cool.
at that.
That was a good detour.
Podcast PR.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep.
All right, pod PR. Look at that. I'm gonna make a little leaderboard for our podcast PRs. Well, all right, but in seriously, I stand by all my statements about pizza. I stand by.
Okay. Okay.
Let's
Transitioning.
moving on.
Back to weightlifting.
Shaaf,
were
how
we?
did the week go for you leading up to this meet?
At a meet standpoint, probably not that great. As a vacation standpoint, it was a great time.
Hey, right.
Let's see, it was a lot of hiking. We were in Bar Harbor, and it's like Bar Harbor's. I don't know if you guys ever been there. It's my first time. It's like it's technically an island, but it's separated by a river and then the ocean. So, so it kind of has like a lot of like island features, if that kind of makes sense. It was really nice, like just hiking around the coast. They have a lot of good mountains out there too. So we kind of saw at least like 3 or 4 of them while we were hiking through them. Kate wanted to do some like, I actually wanted to do like harder hikes too, because I get kind of bored on like if it's just like the carriage road. So we did some hard hikes. A lot of good food. It was a lot like we went to Gunkwit this year too, so she could train out in Augusta. But I wasn't too happy with the food there, so I told her I'd never want to go back. So going back into Maine again, going to Bar Harbor, I was like, about it. But the food surprised me. Like I really had a good time with that too. I thought I was gonna at some point I thought I was gonna miss weight because I think we had ice cream like every night. Because they have like really good ice cream out there. Like I thought Stewart's was really good, but like Bar Harbor got it.
No, all right. This is another. We'll have. All right. This is another. We don't have to go down this road. All right. So a couple things. One, next time you're in Ungunquit, if you do go, I think I told you this. Go to the Egg and I. It's a little breakfast spot, and they have really good food. For
I did miss out on that. I did see it as an option, but I don't think we ever ended up going there.
There's a wait. It's hard to get in there. It's probably because maybe everything else does really suck, so everyone's just trying to go there. So all right, listening to this is something that would have stressed me out hearing all of this, because normally I would find out about it as it's happening before a meet, but also this is a train through meet. Now, Miguel, from a coaching perspective, this is something that might stress you out in the future, where like, oh, it's before the Arnold and you got, Joe Smith and he's like, yeah, I'm going hiking and I'm going to eat ice cream and I hope I make weight. All these things. And it's like, I've gotten to the point now where I've heard these things so many times where I'm not going to fight life. Like, of course, go live life. On the day of, though, it's your responsibility to make these meets. And I'm here. I did everything I had to do. And then it's like afterwards. Now, if you don't have the performance you want, well, now let's talk about this. You did this, Leo. No one else did this. I'm not in Maine with you, feeding you ice cream.
Yeah.
So It's like, hey, everyone's just gonna live life, right? You can only do so much.
To be clear,
Yeah.
I wouldn't plan this around a bigger meet. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I think also
But
that's
there's people that
probably
won't though. There's people that won't.
that's part of the reason why I didn't even like reach out, because I knew exactly what the deal was. But it's also kind of testing like what we can get away with before these meets. And like for me as well, I think just again, we haven't been doing it terribly long, but for as long as we've been doing it, I think like we need to find a good balance where we're not running ourselves into the ground before every single meet, or like holding each meet to the same level where, you can't go out and you can't do this and that because I have a meet in a couple weeks. And, so it's finding the balance of, thankfully Kate is there. So I know that they're also not going like crazy, but I know that there's also, because Kate is there, there's like probably more physical activity outside of just the weightlifting that might, you know, run us into some issues. But
Hey, she
yeah,
eats a lot too, so
right. So
yeah.
But I mean, but she also eats a lot because of what she earns that
Yeah.
because of what she does, with
Mhm.
all the endurance training. But yeah, it's like not every meet, like when you first start off again, your first meet, your second, your fifth meet, they all feel like your own personal Olympics, right? I paid for it. I paid, and now meets are so expensive now that you almost kind of have to do that. When the meets were $30 and $40, it's like, well, all right, but they're so expensive now, so it's like those first batch of meets might you put so much weight on them because you don't have the experience again, and it feels like it's your personal Olympics. But once you've done as many of you guys have done, a local meet down the road, you're like, all right, that's just another day of lifting. It's a heavy day, But okay, you should have a different mindset for the state championships or the Arnold, or eventually when we get there, the American Open, the national championships. Oh boy, does that need a different kind of mindset? Because those meets, especially the ones we haven't been to yet, they feel different. Like when you get there, like even from a referee standpoint, refing at the nationals, ooh, I should pay attention. This feels different. Like I had my phone on airplane mode and it's in my pocket. At a local meet, I might be tempted to have my phone on the desk, and during a 2-minute clock, what's going on Instagram? It's different. It's different. That doesn't mean it's right, but it's definitely, you have to be more dialed in, and there's different pressure to it for sure.
Hmm.
Let's talk about Shaaf's lifts. Or do you have something else, Miguel?
yeah, no, I guess it was leading into the same thing of like, yeah, that week of how did that feel when you started lifting, essentially.
Yeah.
I guess like once I started lifting, like still had no idea where I was at until maybe we got to 90 kilos. It's really weird. Like I don't really know where I'm at until I hit 90 kilos, maybe even 95 sometimes, because 90 kilos is just kind of like at this point. So I won't really know how my body's feeling until maybe 95 kilos, which is so far down the line of warm ups where I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I'll go on the platform after that. Because I missed 98, and we were just like, all right, we'll go into 101 for the opener.
Yeah.
So there was a missed warm up. Okay. Plot thickens. Question, Shaaf. It's 90 or 95 now. About when you know where you're at. Would you have told Miguel? And then I want to know what Miguel's response would have been if you were like, I don't got it today. I got to open at 97. Like that. This is also like a meat maturity thing, and also being able to do that and understand it's okay to deviate from the written plan. Would you have told him? You're like would their flag have gone off? I'm like, whoa, I don't know how much above 100 I have today, and I need to
Mm.
open a little bit lighter. Would you have said something? And then Miguel, what your reaction would have been?
Yeah, I think if I had to bring it down all the way to 97, I would have known earlier on,
Mm-hmm.
maybe at like 80. Yeah,
Okay.
I think around 80 kilos at the warm up, I would have figured that out.
Would you have told him like we need to go down?
Yeah. Well, now I would have, because like we had that meet where I just won that one states where I didn't get enough sleep, so I don't want to
Yeah.
recreate another bomb out.
Well, I mean, hey, there were extenuating circumstances around that meet, though, that were
Hmm.
playing into that a little bit. But yeah, just the communication thing about like you can foresee down the line. You're like, whoa, today is not the day. Today's not a 98% day. Today is more like an 85% day, and I need to adjust for that. So
Mhm.
okay, so you would have told Miguel. How would you have told him?
Oh, I've been like, Miguel, bring it down, and then that's
Well,
it.
I probably would have seen, and then I would have made a face.
Oh,
And then,
okay, yeah, that's probably how that would have went down.
Miguel, would
Yeah.
you have reacted positively to it?
100%. I would rather us go 6 for 6 while I'm coaching you, because then I can be like, it's because of me. But no, I think, yeah, because I'm similar, where I really don't even know how my snatches are gonna go until like pretty far down the line. Because even like when the early ones feel kind of gross, you're like, that doesn't count yet.
Yeah.
But even, yeah, he missed 98 in the back room, and I was like directly looking at it, and it wasn't like a bad miss. And I think we both agreed that's why we went out and still hit the 101.
Yeah, and we're only 3 kilos off, and I mean, there's always that chance of like out there, it's going to feel different. This it's a new location. It's the wood changes things. It's a really nice bar.
Mhm.
You got the competition plates; they're locked in with the collars, and it all reacts differently. And you have that little bit of like extra focus because now there are 3 people looking at you to ref it, and your name's been called. So sometimes you don't know; it could turn out differently, but you don't want to risk it and be like, all right, it feels ungodly heavy right here in the back room.
Yeah.
I mean, so my best meet, my warm ups were all over the place. It felt awful, but I did bump down my opener when that happened. So,
Mm.
Okay.
Miguel also gave out like pretty good. Like Miguel has like a really good eye when he's coaching too. Like he once I had like that. Well, I think it was like at 80 or maybe 90 kilos. He noticed my right foot being too far back on my setup, and then I did it again at 98, and that's where I kind of messed up that snatch. And then I just made sure to fix that on the platform after he
You
told
were
me twice.
stagger stance.
Stagger for
Like
my
in the
start.
way that I stagger, which is probably why I picked up on it, because I know that's a thing that I do. But yeah, he fully like set up in the way where my right foot is behind. His right foot was behind as well.
Wow, that must have
Yeah.
been all that hiking.
Yeah, hiking, maybe sitting in the car for too long. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How was your hip?
My hip was fine. Actually, a lot of the injuries that I have accumulated, I didn't feel during this meet too much. Like even my wrist was okay, my forearm fine, and my hip, everything was great. Not great, but it was good. It didn't hurt.
Okay, that's good. I was wondering about your wrist too. You had that wrist wrap on there pretty high.
Yeah, I just put that on just in case, because like if one minor tweak, and if I feel something in the snatch, it's gonna probably ruin the rest of my meet. So instead of just like playing around with that, I just kept it on the whole time as like a precautionary measure. I think I'm gonna keep on doing that for a little bit until I feel like it's back to like maybe closer to 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Good idea. We need to get it back to 100%.
Mhm.
All right. Cool. So I'm that sounds like it all went well. I'm missing a warm up in the back room is nothing to panic about.
No,
Because
it's
that could
nothing
just
new.
set off a chain reaction of all of a sudden you're missing more, but just because of the way you're reacting to it. You got to move on and make
Uh,
a new lift.
yeah, we've been to meets where I just miss the whole warm up set anyways, and then I make the opener.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Arnold, the first
The
Arnold.
first Arnold. Yeah,
Gosh, that was
a
great.
mess. That was it. It was a mess.
Could have filmed. I mean, if we could have filmed it, like it would be. I'd look at it all every now and then. I'd look at it, and also those 2 guys you almost killed too that were sitting
Yeah,
behind you.
they did have a lot of patience for me too, and they didn't even say anything at all. Like they just let me do my thing,
Yeah,
missing and not reacting to it, which was very interesting.
yeah. And then all of a sudden they're calling our name, and we were 2 or 3 warm ups behind, and we just had to go out there.
Which I find interesting because we never thought about bringing the weight down
No,
as the opener. We just opened
no.
at whatever it was, 91.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
which was my
I think that
previous
was.
PR too, to get to the Arnold.
Yeah, I think it was just a do or die thing. Mike Bergner
Yeah,
was there. Can't go down. That was Mike Bergner out there.
that's true.
Kidding. Okay, so you go out. You missed the last warm up. You go out there. You smoke 101. 101 looked really strong.
Yeah, I think
I
I have to
will.
walk forward though, but that just might be like my tight calves and ankle mobility at that
Well,
point.
Well,
it looked
what
like a
happened
lot of your
was
lifts were drifting forward off the floor, and you were going really fast.
Was I?
Like you were just like dropping into your setup and just pulling right away, and then you
Uh,
would lose it. Is that what you were saying, Miguel?
yeah, Miguel did bring that up.
yeah. Well, he did a warm up snatch too, where the first thing that happened was that he moved back and the bar stayed where it was, and he had to kind of pull it in more.
Yeah.
But also to note, he was using Frank's bar in the warm up room.
Mhm.
And Frank's bar is extremely fast. So I think having to walk forward the snatches was because with Frank's bar, it was kind of just landing back there.
Mhm.
And then going out to the competition floor where it wasn't moving as fast. And maybe it's a little bit more in front. So then you have to walk out to kind of stabilize it.
Mhm.
That's definitely what it seemed like to me. But
I
yeah,
think
that's
I think
why.
that bar out there was the Pyros bar, maybe on the
Mm,
competition platform, and then Frank's bar must be the regular high quality Rogue bar.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's what I told him after the second attempt, the miss at 104, where I was like, you just went super fast. Where, yeah, it was like kind of how I do my clean and jerks, where it's like hands on, you kind of sit down, and then as you look up, he kind of lifted. And I was like, yeah, just wait like a little bit more.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
what I'm talking about. I was I was thinking, I'm like, why is he rushing so
yeah.
much? Kind of. That's what it looked like. Okay, cool.
Mm.
Did you feel like you were going too fast, Shaaf?
No, not really. Like once you get on the platform and stuff, it just feels slower. Everything feels slow. Like I felt like I did pause, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that
Yeah,
makes sense at
because
all.
we talked about it. Yeah. And he was like, oh, I thought I did. And I was like, no.
Well, and
Mm.
then you see on rep number 3, the 104 comeback make, where it's like you settle into your start position,
Yeah.
and there's a clear like mark, like, okay, now we're here. You're looking up, your chest is set, your back is set, and then we pull. And
Mm.
I was glad you did that. You weren't going to make it if you did that other thing again.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, it
absolutely.
wasn't going to happen. It was
Yeah,
not going to happen. Because like as soon as you dropped your hips and looked up a little bit and started pulling, your back wasn't set, and the bar just immediately kicks out away from you. And it's like
yeah. Mhm.
there's no way to save that, unless you jump forward with it, which you don't normally do a
Mhm.
lot. All right. Well, I think that's great to come. Is that the heaviest weight you've come back on the snatch at a meet to make 104? 104 is pretty up there in terms of lifts at competitions. Did you do that to Arnold? Miss one and then make one?
I can't remember at this point. That's yeah, I don't remember.
Maybe. Okay. Well,
We'll go with that.
two out of three on the snatch.
Mhm.
Not a bad start to the competition. Any other thoughts on snatches for Shaaf or from you, Shaaf?
No. I guess just kind of focus on my start stance and then adding that pause every time. I feel like sometimes I do forget it. And I think with like my pull too, we're working on it where I need to slow down the first pull and then speed up towards the third pull. I think I was just trying to rush the first pull going like from the ground and then just try to have that same speed, which I'm not that kind of athlete. So I need to kind of dial that back again. I think I just forgot this week because, vacation.
Yeah. I mean, if it's let's say if it starts at 100 miles an hour, if it starts at 100%, it better get faster later on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to slow down. And then now what are you going to do when at the
Yeah.
later points it should have been, maximal? So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I
And
just totally forgot about it.
I didn't get a chance to check if the grip was even or not. That's normally something we're working on too. It must have
Mm.
been. Okay, so good snatches. Now we're on a break. Miguel, what did you say to Shaaf after the snatches were done, and now it's time to rest and go back and get ready for clean jerks and it's going to be a 10-minute break. Did you say anything to him?
Not really. Once the cards got laid out, I kind of saw that this was probably a little bit more time. So I think it was like ballparkish 28, 29 lifts out for the snatch, and it was like a direct 30 for the clean and jerk. So I knew again that we had time. So yeah, a lot of people had already started, and we were trying to get away from Frank's bar. So I think we did 2 warm-ups on Frank's bar and then switched it out when other people were done.
Oh, really? You didn't want to use that bar?
Just because it's faster, and it's better to move on to the faster bar, especially for clean and jerks, to go out to the faster bar on the platform. So we didn't want to start fast and then have to, put more into it on the actual competition platform. So we switched that, but no, I think we were just looking at feet placement really. And then I think the biggest thing was just kind of like aggression in the clean and jerks, which is like that can be like a daily thing of like today's just not like a lot putting into it. But I was also curious of like vacation mindset.
Yeah. That's what was like popping out to me on them. I'm like we gotta go after these cleans. Like we gotta do something. Like the 132, we got it, but it didn't look like a
Yeah.
It was kind of like all right, great. I'm glad it's up here. And then you crushed the jerk. So like going up, I was like, I feel like we need a little something. And then I looked over and I saw you had your smelling salts, and I thought to myself, I'm glad we got those. I'm glad that they're right.
Nah, they didn't help at all this time around. I feel like every single time I took them, I got more tired.
Oh gosh! All right.
From the one time that I really took them, there's something. I don't know if that's like, I don't know.
We got
I
to find out
understand
about
in
brain cells
specific
and
like scenarios, I can see it working, but I don't know about if it can like bring you to a place.
Yeah, I think everything else needs to line up too before that can work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a supplement, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to make up for a week's worth of poor sleep or eating and dehydration and stuff like that. At that point, you're like, I really hope this helps me just get back up a little bit. But if everything else is in line and you're feeling fully peaked and everything, then it's gonna like take you that little extra height. It's like anything. It's like everything's a supplement. Wearing a belt, the shoes, those are supplements. The singlet's a supplement. It's all things to help improve your lifting and be efficient. But if you don't have that base, now you're relying all on that stuff.
Yeah.
I do think that timing was more of a factor for the clean and jerks as well. I think for me, from a coaching perspective, I'm so worried about like, I don't want your name to get called and you like just dropped your last warm up, or maybe you haven't even done your last warm up yet. So I do my count and then I do like worst case scenario. So I try to spread things out so that like I know for myself, like by those last couple clean and jerk warm up attempts that we're feeling tired and might need a little bit more time. But also with those 2-minute clocks and everything, sometimes it seemed like it was, we could have basically, to summarize what I'm saying, like we probably could have started even later. But my fear was that something would happen and then I'd be like, oh, you haven't even hit your closest warm-up weight. So what do we do now? But I think it's maybe my perspective has to change where it's equally as damaging to, space things out too long in between warm-up attempts or even being warmed up too early, as we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you never know what the flow of the competition is going to do. On the snatch, there was one guy that all of a sudden changed to a big jump, and that ended up not happening on the clean and jerks because the clean and jerk was more of where, all right, he's going to stay there. And then we know, like when you're looking at the cards, there's that batch of guys that might have weights that are in what I would call the danger zone,
Mhm.
where it's like you don't even want to count them, especially because like they could just take a 10-kilo jump now. And I think there was one guy earlier in the competition who was taking massive jumps. He got his warm up or his opener in, and then all of a sudden we went from 70 to nearly 80. So it's like you never know what kind of jumps people are going to take, just because we're in the mindset of like, all right, we have a 3 to 5 kilo progression where we know our limit, we're right there. Other people, they may not follow that philosophy,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they're way out of your range, or they may even hit their opener at, let's say, 80. Next thing you know, the guy's second attempt is like at 100. He's like, oh, I just wanted to get a secure one. And like, you don't know everyone's plan, and I'm not sociable enough to ask people either, because some people do that. They're like, hey, where are you going? What are you thinking?
Oh, that also happened.
Oh, it did? Okay.
In the back room, somebody was like, where are you guys opening at? And like, I didn't say anything. And Shaaf was like, 101. And he was like, I'll just do what you guys are doing. And I was like, oh.
And he did. He followed us all the way. He didn't have a
Nice.
coach either. It was very
Oh.
interesting to see. It was like so nonchalant, like how he
It was
kind of went about things.
It was the guy who closed out the clean and jerks in the session.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sweeney.
That might have been the guy that was looking for our coach, someone to help him, and we never heard back. So it may have ended up that you would have been if that's the guy, you would have been helping him, and then it just organically happened. That's kind of funny.
He kind of just hopped around to different bars to see where things were at. I mean, it worked out for him. So
yeah.
We were also discussing that too, of like, I don't know, maybe there's something to people who just show up and do whatever, because it seemed like he was probably resting before his first attempt way longer than Shaaf was.
He had some long breaks.
So it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, but again, whatever works. I
feel like you got to be a social butterfly to do that too. On like, hey, can I get that lift from you? And then go over, can I get that lift? I mean, it's an energy saving stamp. Like, all right, that guy's got 50, I need 50. That guy's got 70, let me hop over there. But, not everyone's like, I guess not friendly, but like, it's like you see everyone they got their camp, right? They got their stuff. So you got to be a big social butterfly to do that. I can see Shaaf doing that.
I was trying to make sure that he did change out weights for us, though, when he was there. Like, if he had to put more weight on, I'm like, yo, we need this one on. And he did it.
All right, that's good. Yeah, you don't want to, like be at the mercy of the barbell mooch,
Yeah.
I just made that up. Barbell mooch is the thing. But, okay, cool. All right, it worked out. There was a point where you were playing a dangerous game on the clean and jerks there. So on where you could have been short clocked and Shaaf would have had to go like right away. Do you know the point I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I know, and I knew that you were going to ask me about it, but because of the way things were going, I needed us to kind of like, for me, best case scenario was like, we got to go again quick.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
short turnaround.
I think that's like a mind thing where it's like I tell you, like when we do EMOMs, like my body hurts so bad, but because I know that I have to go when the clock goes, like the mindset has to change, and it makes you kind of like go into that lift a little bit more stronger.
And the reason that it flagged to me for a couple reasons, like all of a sudden it's like danger, because one, I don't think Shaaf's at the point where he can handle those weights that we're at in the 30 range with such a quick turnaround. Like I don't know how Shaaf feels about it, but I don't know. Let's get Shaaf's perspective on this. Like just quick turnaround. We're into 30. You got to hit 32, and then like a minute later, you got to have 36 now, which is right under the PR. So like we're at 99.9%.
I mean, we kind of have to do something like that at Murder Crows.
We had way more rest at Murder Crows.
You think so? Because I had to follow myself.
But we milked that 2-minute clock.
Okay.
Right. I think because Shaaf, you wouldn't even know, but there was a potential that you would have been like you walked and like sat down, and that you would have been
the next
right up
again.
Right now.
Oh,
like 1 minute clock.
So
Okay.
here's what it was. Here's what it
Oh,
was.
got you. It was a 1 minute clock. Okay.
It
Yeah,
could have
probably.
been if the scenario happened, which I didn't think it would, but
Yeah.
also I was like, good.
Yeah, I don't think I would have
here's
survived.
here's what it was. Shaaf hit 132. The next lifter was Patrick, opening at 136. Shaaf is now on a 2-minute clock, and Miguel wants to go to 136. Since it's Patrick's first attempt, he's going to go first. Cool. All right, you're going to get that lift and all that stuff. They'll have to tighten up the weights, and then you'd be the next lifter.
Yeah.
Now, if so now Miguel could declare any weights or do a couple jumps, change the weights, milk your 2-minute clock, knowing full well we're not going to take it. Patrick will be the next lifter. You're going to get a nice amount of rest. But what Miguel did is Miguel went right to 136 and didn't let the 2-minute clock really go down at all, which means we're going right to 136 and Patrick is going to go out. You still get the rest of his lift, right? But the thing that could happen is, let's say we're in a way more competitive environment and Patrick has a coach or something and you guys are competing. Someone could have been like, you know what? Patrick's going to go let you make the change. Patrick's the next lifter. If Patrick's clock starts and then his clock is like 137 and Patrick goes up, oh, the bar is already loaded. The lifter immediately changes to Shaaf now, and now Shaaf is up, which puts you in a position of, do you want to play this game now? Do you want to follow him and go up because you need rest, or can you just go out and take it? So you guys see the scenario on like, it was a very dangerous scenario. And
Patrick's weight was 135, so I was accounting for the fact that they'd have to change it to 136. And then with that, I was like, he'd have enough time.
As I was writing it, I was like, I'm writing it very slowly.
I knew that you were going to do that. And then also, yeah, I wouldn't do that normally. But one, because I just think of like, we missed 128 the first time in the back room. We went down to 120 and then we did 128 again. And just like seeing the 132 on the platform too, just knowing that like something had to change essentially if we were going to make the next 2 attempts. And yeah, kind of figuring out like, all right, maybe panic will change. But yeah, no, I figured that he wouldn't jump as well. But that was, the risk that I was willing to take at a meet like this as well.
With the way Patrick was moving and what his next jump was to 143 or something like that, or 141.
It was 140.
140. He should have jumped. He should have he's sitting there chilling in the chair and whatnot. But if he had a coach, I would and you guys
100%. Yeah,
I would fully expect him to do it, and I would almost be like, you should have. Why didn't you? I would have made that jump.
I'm not even sure what his last warm up was, to be honest, because I think he hit like I don't know, maybe like 120 or something in the back room, and then like sat down.
Oh yeah, it was the 124. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
And he sat down for 20 minutes.
So, I mean, I was like, he's sticking to his plan. Honestly, if he got up, I would have been like, whoa, chill out.
It's like that one meme with the guy that blocks the one guy. You're like,
yeah, I would have been like, absolutely not. That's insane.
All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, Miguel just put his hand on that guy's chest. I'm like, wow, that was aggressive, Miguel. You guys are throwing elbows. So that was like I was like in my head, I was like, danger as I was writing it, but it all worked out. Out. I'm glad you're aware of it. And this, again, it's a local meet, it's a very small group. I don't even know if that situation survives at states, any like way more competitive type of thing, especially like Shaaf's only 96. So it's like, there's no reason for Patrick to do that at all. Like, you guys are completely different weight classes. And you guys are the only guys in those weights, unless he's like really wants to like be competitive. There's no reason for it. But like,
see, that's something that I would do if I was doing it by myself. Yeah, no, we've discussed this actually against my own teammates. where I would put down exactly what they have and then jump them. Yeah. That's what I would do if I didn't have a coach. But yeah,
you guys know my stance. I've been very vocal about it on this podcast and the New York Weightlifting podcast. My stance on short clocking. It's all fair game. This is competition. I understand the reasons why you wouldn't do it like yesterday, but like if it happens, it's legal. It's a legal move. It's like you shouldn't be mad. Like you shouldn't be mad about anybody's decision to do that to you other than yourself putting yourself in that position. Like if you're taking a competition that you paid nearly $100 for seriously, who can blame you? And trained hard for. So it's like, or didn't train hard for. You're just there. So that like that's how I feel about it. I think it's fair. That's like saying like if it's at a local pickup game, the guy shouldn't catch the interception when he's right there. Or if you catch the interception, you shouldn't run it all the way back and then step in the. It's like no score. Like you were playing the game. That's like I don't understand it.
I have to head out. My bad. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. We knew you had to go.
Yeah.
Shaaf, any closing thoughts?
Miguel's a great coach. Don't go on vacation before a meet. You can't wait for the next meet and the new cycle.
Awesome. I'll note that I didn't get a compliment in there. That's fine. All right,
but you did nothing for me.
Oh, yeah, nothing. Did nothing at all. Yep, nothing at all. All right. Next time he's like, "Can I get my workouts for the entire week?" Like, what? Who? Actually, I'm gonna respond. Who dis? I don't recognize this number at all. Don't recognize it. All right. Thank you, Shaaf.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep.
Maybe.
All right. Bye.
He goes to register. You no longer have membership. No, I'm kidding. But so yeah, that one situation, I was like, because I'm like staring at the cards, so I see it all coming. Like
but yeah, that was a decision where I 100% knew, because even when we did 136 to 138, like I know how to like buy time using the clock and all that. But yeah, me and Shaaf discussed after the meet as well of like, okay, how do we deal with that? Like, what is the game plan for when we're just not like our regular technique, our regular setup, our regular going into the bar isn't going to work. Now what do we do? Because I feel like I'm very malleable, where I'm like, all right, this is what it looks like today. Oh, I'm kind of like afraid going up to it. This is how I have to, not to be like, hey, just get up there and just. I told him for his 138 that he shouldn't have even set up. He should have just put his hands on the bar and then immediately just ripped. Because I'm like, yeah, because then it wouldn't have been a deadlift. You probably would have hit like just above your knees and you would have had to duck under, Yeah. But yeah, it was interesting. And again, because of the situation, because in the back room, he actually clarked 128. And then
that was the miss for 128. Oh, I
yeah,
thought it was a clean or a jerk miss.
No, yeah. So I like looked at him and I was like, "What are we doing?" But I think it was partially just like mindset and like how it felt going into these clean and jerks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the feedback I was giving him was like, "Hey, give it some more. Like you're making these, but like attack them."
Yeah.
So when we went down to 120. We made that. It was good. We went into 128, but it was very much like the pulls don't feel strong. Like they might be fine pulls, but like just the way that you're pulling, it doesn't seem like you feel that they're strong. So we kind of have to like do something to like really punch these, really go into them.
I think after seeing the 128 Clark, and even going down and then coming back up to hit it, I probably still would have kept him at 132. But I think that's when it would be like, I don't think we're getting to 140 today. And I think maybe like, all right, like going like I wouldn't be opposed to going 134 and then 136, to tighten that up a little bit. because now all of a sudden a 4 kilo jump off of 132 if he's saying the pulls don't feel strong, just knowing that pull, it's like, well, I don't see it getting stronger,
Yeah.
And now at Murder Crows, he was smoking, like he was pulling under things. So like on that day, it's just everybody has different days, so you just have to recognize like what kind of a day is it, like there's days where like if you're missing jerks or your jerk is looking really shaky in the warm-up room, we might have to make some changes,
Yeah.
or maybe still keep the opener, but adjust the jumps after that, especially after seeing how the opener looks, and then what your feedback is. Did he give any feedback after 132 that might have made you think maybe we should go 135 or something?
No, I mean, I asked him how he felt, and he was okay going with the plan, which is why we went there. And then I figured, yeah, after the miss at 136, it was better to move up, just because he would have had to go right back out for another 136. Yeah. So yeah, we were able to buy him some time, and yeah, I mean, at that point, I think also he did say that he was done after 136, that he was like, I don't even want to go out there. So I was like, so 138, okay, we'll go 138.
And that's one, I'm glad he said that. I'm it takes maturity as an athlete to be like, to realize like, that was what I had today,
Yeah.
And then you as the coach have to weigh I'm like, all right, if he has to kill himself to get under that, or is this a potential injury situation right now? He's like, I don't have it. And I mean, for him on his cleans, it's gonna be a deadlift, or he's gonna probably make it, right?
Yeah.
And then if he just deadlifted 2 kilos lighter, more than likely we're just gonna go and do another deadlift, right?
Yeah.
But like, there's other athletes that'll surprise you and be like, I don't know if it's worth you doing what you do, if this is how you're feeling, to make this happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. And it was really just like, okay, this is interesting. Like, it was interesting to see, and kind of like, because we're able to discuss also, like, just as athletes, of like, yeah, what do we do in those moments? Like, for the time being, it's kind of like, oh, we don't do anything. Like, I think you've asked me questions as well, where it's like, oh, what do you do when your jerks aren't going? And I'm like, we miss all of them. I'm like, I don't know what you're asking me. Like, when we miss, we miss. If it's one of those days, it's not happening. But it is interesting to like see, okay, let's keep on throwing things at those moments and see if anything works.
Yeah. Trial and error.
Yeah.
Not going to know unless you try it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, So that's all part of even at this point, it's all part of the process. It's just all, we could open up a new level, or be like, and we're never going to open up that door again, because it clearly didn't work, And even some things that do work, it could be like, well, it worked, but I don't like it. Or I don't like that we had to do it, that way. It's like, would it be better to just have a static or a more locked in start for the clean, versus just having just a snap into it? Like, that's why like I'll see what kind of a day it is during training, and you're like, this is what we have to do today to survive, and then at that point it's like, well, we need the training, so like, what else are we going to do? Because more than likely, bumming it down 20 kilos, well, you had to do it on all of them. So I guess the other option is we just don't lift today. But then, is it going to get any better tomorrow?
Right.
No. And then now, does that make it harder not training with other people around you? Like, because I mean, like, training by yourself just adds a whole nother level of difficulty to it. Some people can do it really, really well, but otherwise it is hard. At least you're all suffering, and you look over there and you're like, yeah, that's right.
I don't know if I can do the training alone anymore.
Yeah,
anytime I do, it's bad. I leave. I just leave. Like,
well, see, that's the thing. Even with team training, I mean, I guess you could just leave, but you're not gonna.
It usually doesn't even get to that point. Like, you might have to modify some things, but Yeah, just the energy is different.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, all right, if it's getting really bad, like, well, what if we powered today? What if we took out the jerk,
Yeah.
or did this or that? There's all kinds of things but when you're alone in the moment, you're just mad, and you're just like, no, we're not changing anything. This
Yeah.
is just done today, going home. And you take out your earbuds and the room is quiet, the whole building's quiet, creepily.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I definitely get that. Well, it went well. We got a total.
Yeah.
That's that. It's all about that total. We got a total. There was no one else in. We didn't. The only thing that could have not gotten a medal was bombing out, and we didn't do
Right.
that. Sounds like there's a little risk, small risk of that. But otherwise, yeah, there was no one else to worry about. So yeah, go up to 138, and do that. And then if Patrick would have gone up, then hey, this is a new experiment. Let's see what happens,
Yeah.
And go from there. Will we do that at states? No, there'll be a lot more, a bunch of 96s there. So we gotta. That's where it's like we gotta make a total. And even though if we're not in medal contention, do everything we can to get every kilo because we don't know what's going to happen to those other guys, and then that does stink where it's like, oh, we didn't do everything we can, and now we could have had one because like that's where it's like you are trying to beat every other guy that you can because you never know what the top guys are going to do. They still have to make their lists, and at the Arnold and other things. But yeah, any other thoughts on the event as a whole, or from your experience? Any other stories or things that we don't know about yet from the back room?
No, I would say so. Again, I think it was very like, I keep on just saying the word interesting, which by itself doesn't mean much, but from a coaching perspective and looking at like Shaaf's perspective of really just, I think our growth in the sport from either side, like an understanding and really just, again, like we were just talking about, just testing things out, kind of seeing what works on days when other things aren't working, just preparation going into a meet, like environment or even just mindset going into it. Yeah, things like that, and just kind of testing out what works best for each individual.
Yeah, would you say because again, I've helped out Frank last year too, so I haven't had a chance to coach you guys at the Central Regional because typically I'm needed, by Frank to do other things. Would you say that so you've been able to see a difference over a year, one meet to the next, even though it was in May last year, so a little over a year? What was different from coaching Shaaf last year to this year?
Well, this year he was the only athlete I had, so there was more focus on him. Last year with him and Mike, just because Mike went up first, there was more focus on Mike. Because while Mike's on the platform, I'm there as well. While Shaaf maybe has to hit some warm ups, so I don't get to directly see them. Mm-hmm. But again, it's a similar format, I would say. Again, in terms of like, we're not necessarily playing a game of like going for medals or, directly opposing some other person. We're kind of just running our own race. So not much in terms of like buying people time, in terms like trying to like jump people or see if people are jumping us. So yeah.
You seemed more serious this time, and I don't know if that's just because there isn't like a bunch of you guys in the back and everyone's joking around. It's turning into like barbell club a little bit, like
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just you and Shaaf, like you were a little more just dialed in and focused in that way, So you just
and it was cold,
focused.
so I kept on crossing my arms.
Okay, maybe that was it. Yeah, you were crossed a lot, and you had this very serious look on your face, and maybe that was just like you're dying inside, and you're like, I'm so cold right now, but I'm not going to show any outward
Yeah.
emotion either way. Okay, cool. Well, in the warm up room, I should ask when he was here, was he doing his whole routine with the feet and stuff in the warm up room too, or was that just out on the platform?
When you say the feet, you mean?
The toe touches and the fingers. And,
Oh no, I think that's a very much out there thing.
Mhm. Okay, it seemed a little more. I should have asked when Shaaf was here. It seemed more robust this time, um, for one reason or another.
Yeah, I mean it's similar to like my growl cough thing that I do.
Yeah, I like how we have a growl cough
Yeah.
now. Right. Sometimes you do it. Do you do it before the snatch? It's just cleanser.
I probably couldn't do it before the snatch now.
Okay, must be just cleanser. All right, got it. Well, good job. Did a good job.
Thank you.
Shop didn't bomb out. We got another medal for the team. Uh, Frank is happy. We helped out Frank, and it was a nice long day. And
Yeah.
Today I have the post meet hangover. That's like a new thing after these days. It's like, was I drinking all night? Oh no, we had a weightlifting meet yesterday. I'm like, oh great, all right.
Agreed. This morning I woke up and I was like, no way.
Yeah. Why? I don't. This is a new thing, and I don't like it, and I don't know why it's a thing now. But I'm like there. I would like to have been, feeling good today and whatnot. But I'm like, yeah, it feels like you're hit by a bus and you're up all night drinking. I'm like, I don't like this, but
Yeah.
it's a new thing. I felt it after nationals for the first time. Like after our regionals, fine. That's a very busy weekend. But
Mhm.
like after these other local meets, I don't like it. I
Yeah.
don't like it. This was 2 sessions. It shouldn't have been like this. I will say I was up for way over 24 hours though for this meet. Because also a new thing, Miguel, is we just don't sleep the night before the meet. That's like a new thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like one, I'll just be up and I'm like, all right, it's 2. Let me go lay down. And then when I lay down, I think it's my delay in going to lay down is because once I lay down, I realize, nope, it's not going to happen. You're just up. So just lay here with your eyes closed for the next couple hours before your alarm goes off at 4, and then get up and get ready and go. And the last time before this meet, I fell asleep was Thursday night. And then we woke up Friday morning, and then since then we've been up. And I was like, don't like that. Don't know why this is happening now before meets. It's not even like I'm excited. Like like when you're like, oh, I'm so excited or something for like I'm just completely new. Like everything I needed to get done was done. It's not like I'm like, oh crap, I have to go get the plates in the morning. Like
Yeah.
I like everything is ready. Like you're just gonna talk on the microphone, tomorrow. But yeah, for whatever reason, this is a new thing. I don't like it. So I don't know how to fix it. And then apparently you're also feeling hungover after meets too. So this is I don't know. All right, cool. I think it all went well. I have no closing thoughts. Everything that had to be said has been said. So we will be back next time talking about the Olympics, right?
Yep. And well, we probably won't have the finish of the CrossFit Games, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess what should we do about the CrossFit? It's kind of in the middle of all this stuff. Really, today would have been about the CrossFit Games.
I say we save it until after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next weekend we'll do big Olympics recap, and then that's when the games will be going on. We'll let it finish, and then the weekend after we'll talk about the games.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I mean, honestly, I don't have a whole lot to say before the CrossFit Games because I don't know a lot of these people. Like go Tia and Ricky, and if Patrick Vellner won it this year before he's going to probably retire, I'd be fine with that too, So, all right. Prediction on the CrossFit Games. We'll say it now. I think Tia Toomey's going to win more than likely. Unbeatable. Who's going to beat her? She almost came back and won the Rogue Invitational. after 5 months having a baby. For the men, I'm just because wishful thinking. I'm hoping Ricky Gerard does it because I'm a Ricky fan. I feel like he's the underdog now coming back. But if Patrick Vellner won it, I wouldn't be upset about it. And really, outside of that, I don't care a little bit. I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah, if I had to throw podiums, no particular order, I would say women's podium, again, no particular order. I would say Tia, Laura, and I would think maybe Gabby Magala, but I think that third place spot could also go to yeah, there are a few people that could
So
also
in no
take.
particular order, but you're talking about third place spot right there. So you're saying it's either Tia
Well,
or Laura.
third spot of
Yeah.
one of the threes. Because because of how competitive I think it'll be, I don't know how points will really shake out. For men, really in no particular order, I do think it'll be Ricky, Roman, and I think Justin Medeiros will get back to the podium.
Oh, really? He's been kind of written off a little bit for years now.
Because of what I saw last year, he was really out of it. And then just, again, consistency with top 10 finishes to really finish off the games. He climbed back from a pretty big deficit.
Okay.
So I think if he doesn't have as many bad events this year, that he'll be right up there.
He's like the forgotten champion. Isn't that weird that you can win the CrossFit Games? And I bet I do feel bad for him because someone had to win it the year after Matt Frazier retired. And people seem to not respect that so much. They're like, well, you won because he's not here. So it's like,
well, did he win twice?
Did he?
I want to say that he did win 2 times.
Hold on.
And then last year was the first time that he didn't.
Justin Medeiros. I think I'm spelling his name right. Holy cow. Yeah. He's the winner for 2021. And why doesn't he get any respect? He lost one year.
It was a pretty bad loss, though. He got written off. He wasn't even top 2 heats for most of the days.
That's messed. All right. You know what? Now I'm a Justin fan because everyone's against him. Okay, I changed my. All right. Ricky's still going to win. I'm still going Ricky. If I'm going to give a men's podium, I'm going Ricky, Pat, Justin. I think he'll come back for third place. I don't know about Brent Fikowski, what he's doing, who is a fan of the Barbell Club and Miguel, by the way. He did like one of your videos way back. So, but yeah, I feel bad now.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
Okay. All right. I will be rooting for him now. I'm like, you need to shut everybody up. Make them eat those words. Whoever's saying this stuff, you need. If he won, I wouldn't be mad now. I wouldn't be like, oh, I wish Ricky would have won. I wish I'm not gonna be mad either way. But beat Roman, beat Jeff Adler, all those. Show him you are the champ. Because I guess now he has to win the games to get his respect back, which he's a 2-time champion. That's outrageous. People wrote him off for missing 1 year. Maybe he was sick. Maybe gosh. It's like all of a sudden everyone expects people to be the next person that wins it 10 times in a row. One, is that what you really want to see? You want to see legacies after every legacy ends? That's boring. It's good that he didn't win it again for the sport overall, but it's messed up for people to write him off and be like, he's done. And I don't even know, why are they saying that why are they saying this?
I guess, I have no clue, honestly. I guess it's just what you do when a champ doesn't win.
Social media. If it wasn't social media, I bet he'd get more respect. It's got to be social media, people making videos for their own stuff. We could make a video talking about Jeff Adler and Justin Medeiros and try to get clicks and stuff like that. But it's come on now, he's the champ. He deserves some respect. People are 1-time champions or have never won it, and they're getting more. People are more pumped about them than him. That's weird. Roman hasn't won the games. I'm not excited about him at all. I don't know why he's getting more respect than Justin is. Justin's a 2-time champ. Wow. This is I'm gonna be watching so hard. This is like actually like a reason for me to watch and like care about the men's side now because before I
Mhm.
didn't really care, you know. But now my attention was just on the women's side because I'm like now I want Tia to come back and win and silence the people that are being like, well, she's gone forever now. It's like I don't know.
No one has ever said that.
People had to have said it by now.
See, you're just.
This is how it happens, Miguel. See, this is how it happens. Okay. On that note, I'm excited for the CrossFit Games. I think it starts Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So it starts Thursday. I'm excited for the rest of the Olympics. I have a million stories saved on my Instagram that I have to go through of just all the cool stuff that's been happening. And Team USA is kicking butt. And weightlifting will be starting. When does that start?
End of this week. Well, middle of this week, the 7th.
Middle, and it goes to Sunday. Okay. Does that start Thursday too, maybe?
What day is the 7th? They have the 61s and 49s on the 7th. That's Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday. All right, we get to watch weightlifting on Wednesday. So, and I'm assuming that'll be on NBC with all the regular coverage, right?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay, yeah, that'd be weird if they didn't do that. So I will be watching. Cool, awesome. Well, Miguel, another good show in the books. I'm gonna go get some stuff done, and then I'm gonna go watch Trapped, or the Josh Hartnett movie. And again, I'm perfectly timed out to make it back in time for House of the Dragons, unless someone decides they're gonna run into my car again, which that happened last weekend. So we'll see. And if this is a new trend, I guess I'm done going to the movies. We'll see. But I just need to get through Trap and then Alien Romulus, and then I'm done for a while. There's nothing on my radar. So those are the next two. And I do want that popcorn bucket of the alien head. So that will draw me into buying more popcorn for that. And I will keep that one. We'll see. We'll see. My hoarder tendencies are thinking about it. The fact that I'm thinking about it already is not a good sign. So
yeah,
because I'll just put it up somewhere in here. So all right, cool. Well, Miguel, I'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Yep.
Week 3, day 1. Yay.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. And end stream.